Welcome to EPG Pathshala program. Myself Meenal Katarnikar, Associate Professor from the Department of Philosophy, University of Mumbai. In this session, we are going to discuss concept of Vyapti in ancient Nyaya. We have discussed various modules related to Indian logic, Indian epistemology, concept of inference and the components of inference. So there we have studied that Vyapti or the relation of invariable concomitance operates as the logical foundation of inference. To use the stock example, when we infer fire from the smoke, unless we know that smoke is invariably related to fire, it is not possible to arrive at the knowledge of fire only on the perception of smoke. So the invariable relation between the smoke and fire operates as the logical ground and not just as the causal ground for inference. It is very obvious that the logicians in the Indian systems have worked upon this relation, have tried to define it, have tried to tell us the ways in which we arrive at this relation. In this module, we are going to study how the older Nyaya school has defined, elaborated and explained the concept of Vyapti. The general meaning of Vyapti is the state of pervasion. It implies a correlation between two facts of which one is pervaded and the other pervades. To be more specific, that which is pervaded is smaller in the scope and that which pervades is wider in the scope, and that is how these terms Vyapya and Vyapaka. Again, to come back to our example, the smoke examples will be less in number than the fire examples, because wherever there is smoke there is fire, but we cannot say wherever there is fire there is smoke. So the examples of fire will be more in number, and not only that, fire is also cause of the smoke. So what is the cause is called as Vyapaka, and what is produced as the effect is called as Vyapya. This relation of Vyapti, that is the relation of invariable concomitance between the Hetu and Sadhya, or Vyapya and Vyapaka, is, as we said earlier, the logical ground of Anumiti, that is inferential cognition. We will see the definitions and explanations given by different Nyaya thinkers in the tradition, both ancient and little modern. So first we will see how Annam Bhatta, the author of Tarka Sangraha, talks about Vyapti relation. According to Annam Bhatta, the invariability remaining in the coexistence between Hetu and Sadhya, that is smoke and fire, is like this form. Wherever there is smoke, there is fire, is called Vyapti or invariable concomitance. Between fire and smoke, there is no doubt coexistence called Sahacharya, but it has not become a niyama, that is invariable, having vitiated by one or two exceptional cases which are called Vyabhichari cases. For example, red hot iron ball or electric heater, etc. In these cases, we have the existence of fire, but we don't see the existence of smoke. The Vyapti relation is called a Vyabhichari, that is a relation not vitiated by deviation. And here we have to be specific that this relation is from Vyapya to Vyapaka or from Hetu to Sadhya. So we can say wherever there is Hetu, there must be Sadhya. But the opposite may lead to Vyabhichari Sambandha, and therefore opposite cannot be confirmed as the Vyapti relation. Another logician in the Nyaya tradition, Vishwanatha, says about Vyapti, and he has given the following preliminary definition of Vyapti. The first definition that he gives is as follows: the invariable concomitance is the absence of relation of the mark to anything which is different from the substratum of the thing to be inferred, that is Sadhya. So this definition is focusing on the negative relation between Hetu and Sadhya. Wherever there is absence of Sadhya, there will be absence of Hetu. For example, the hill has fire because it has smoke. Fire is the thing to be inferred. A kitchen, etc. are the objects having the thing to be inferred. A lake, etc. are the objects other than the kitchen. Smoke is the mark and the hill is the subject of inference. Now the question before us is, how should we interpret the expression the locus of the thing to be inferred? That is Sanskrit term Sadhyavata. Should we accept any and every relation by which the thing to be inferred abides in its substratum? If we do so, then the definition would be too narrow. For example, the hill has fire because it has smoke. We can take parts of fire as the substratum of fire because fire as a whole abides in its parts by the relation of inherence. In order to avoid this defect, it is essential to interpret locus of Sadhya in a different manner. The locus has to be taken through the limiting relation of Sadhyata, but arbitrarily. The relation between Sadhya and Paksha is called a limiting relation of Sadhyata. In this context, such relation is contact or sanyoga, but not inherence or samavaya, because between fire and hill there is the relation called sanyoga. If it is so, then a part of fire cannot be taken as a locus of Sadhya. As a locus, we can take kitchen, field, etc., and different from is water, lake, etc., and hence there does not occur any defect of avyapti. When we talk about these two relations, sanyoga and samavaya, we can see that in the structure of Nyaya tradition, the relation of sanyoga is contingent relation and not the eternal relation. So it is quite possible to accept that in the paksha and sadhya of inference, there is sanyoga relation. It is not a logical relation at all. Similarly, even the relation between hetu and paksha is the contingent relation. It is the relation of sanyoga, which is not the eternal relation at all. Paksha has its unique place in inference. It operates as a common locus for both hetu and sadhya. And not only this, it is related to both hetu and sadhya with the relation of sanyoga and not with the relation of samavaya. The relation of samavaya exists between the hetu and sadhya, and that is how we can look at it as a non-contingent relation or more invariable relation. If we can see the difference between the relations, we can understand the relation of Vyapti more correctly, and we can see how it can be defined without entering into any defect, either ativyapti or avyapti. Since according to Naiyayikas, the relation between the parts and the whole are relation of inherence, the word sadhyavat anya means difference or mutual non-existence. That means anyonya bhava, one of the types of non-existence as explained by the Naiyayikas. It is the counter positiveness of which is characterized by the possession of just the thing to be inferred. If it is not accepted so, otherwise the definition would be too narrow. Let us explain this with the help of an example. The hill has fire because it has smoke. If in this case, by the expression things other than the thing to be inferred, we mean just what is different from the substratum of the thing to be inferred, then we can take cowshed etc. as the things other than the substratum of the thing to be inferred. But smoke is present there. Hence, lake etc. would be the things other than the thing to be inferred. Because here the counter positiveness of the non-existence is characterized by the possession of just the thing to be inferred, and thus the definition remains intact. To explain it even in more detail, when we talk about the smoke and fire example, the things other than the thing to be inferred, that is the cases of sapaksha, would be the places where there is coexistence or possible coexistence of hetu and sadhya. So when we talk about the existence of fire on the hill, we have to mention the places or the substrata which also have the possibility of the coexistence of hetu and sadhya. The other examples where there is no possibility of the coexistence of hetu and sadhya, because there is no possibility of the existence of sadhya, operate as vipaksha. So when we make the inference from the smoke to fire, it is to be ensured that such relation is found to be existing in the similar cases, and also the hetu of the inference is found to be non-existent at dissimilar cases. The Naiyayikas are explaining the relation of Vyapti as Bahirvyapti. That means the relation of Vyapti is present not only in a particular hetu and a particular sadhya, but it also is found to be present in all the similar cases where there is possibility of the existence of both hetu and sadhya, and when there is not at all a possibility of the existence of hetu, because there is total impossibility of the existence of sadhya. So when the Vyapti relation is elaborated with the cases like sapaksha and vipaksha, it is known to be Bahirvyapti as against Antarvyapti. Antarvyapti is the case where hetu is explained only with the case of sadhya, and there is no need of the sapakshas and vipakshas. Such kind of example and explanation is found in mainly the elaboration of the Jaina logicians. But in the Nyaya tradition, we have the explanation of Vyapti mainly of the form of Bahirvyapti, and their argument is very unique or unique to their own metaphysics. According to them, When we explain the relation of Hetu as Vyapya Vyapaka relation, we need to enumerate the cases of Vyapya and the cases of Vyapaka. If Vyapti is to be explained as both Anvaya and Vyatireka, not only Anvaya or not only Vyatireka, we know where the Anvaya is possible and we also have to know where Vyatireka is possible. So, in the cases of Bahirvyapti, we have to explain the relation between Hetu and Sadhya and the substratum in a more externalistic way, that is in the way of Bahirvyapti. There is a broad distinction of the form. It has not the thing to be inferred, that is Sadhyavan na. So this is an attribute of being counter positive. Having the thing to be inferred as such, neither more nor less, otherwise the definition would be futile. So although smoke may be present in a cowshed, for instance, which is other than any particular object having fire, such as kitchen, there is the harm, because what we have to prove is not the cowshed, or what we have to prove is not the fire at the hill particularly, but we have to establish the existence of fire. So what is to be established is the fiery hill and not the hill of any other character, which can be present even in the cowshed. So one has to be careful about the definitions given of the words both Sadhyavata or Sadhyavan na. The absence of mark in objects other than those having the thing to be inferred is to be understood not only in respect of particular objects but only in respect of objects in general. Otherwise, the definition would be applicable to the fallacious inference. The hill has smoke because it has fire. This is a fallacious inference because the sadhya is vyapya and the hetu is vyapaka. Fire is not present in a lake, etc., which are objects other than those having the thing to be inferred. The definition becomes too wide. But this is not correct. Although fire is absent in a lake, it is present in a red hot iron ball, which is also an object other than the thing to be inferred, smoke. Hence, the invariable concomitance between fire and smoke is vitiated. Again, the definition of invariable concomitance is not applicable to inferential cognition of the form. It is a substance because it has existence possessed of difference from that of qualities and action. Substancehood is the thing to be inferred, and existence possessed of difference from that of qualities and actions is the mark, and it inheres in substance only. Substance is the substratum of substancehood, and things other than the thing to be inferred are quality and action. As qualified existence, that is, existence possessed of difference from that of qualities and actions, and pure existence are one. So, existence, that is the mark, inheres in quality and action as well as in substance. Hence, there is no absence of mark in objects other than those having the thing to be inferred. This difficulty can be overcome by saying that the absence of mark in objects other than the thing to be inferred is to be understood in respect of the delimiter of the markness. In the aforesaid inference, the delimiter of the markness is the existence qualified as different from that of qualities and actions which abides in substance alone. So, quality and action are to be regarded as objects other than those having the thing to be inferred. Hence, the definition is alright. The inadequacy of the first definition of Vyapti is explained by the logicians in the Nyaya tradition as follows. According to them, the definition of invariable concomitance, that is Vyapti, with the above amendments again is not applicable to the inference of the form. It is knowable because it is nameable. Here, knowability, the thing to be inferred, is exclusively affirmative. That means it is kevalanvayi, that is universally present, and because of this, there are no such things as objects other than those having the thing to be inferred. That means all the things will be knowable, and therefore we don't have the example of the similar things which are similar to the things to be inferred. Hence, the definition fails to apply to Jneyatvam Vachyatvat, leading to the defect of avyapti. Now, as we can see how important it is for the Nyaya thinkers to provide the correct definition of the Vyapti relation. Both the concepts Hetu and Vyapti are central to the inference. Hetu as the middle term which links Sadhya to Paksha and which leads to the establishment of Sadhya at a particular Paksha is Hetu only if that Hetu has the relation of Vyapti to the Sadhya, and therefore this relation between Hetu and Sadhya, which is the backbone of inferential cognition, needs a proper definition. Unless it is articulated categorically, avoiding the defects that can happen or that can enter into the definition, the proper concept of Vyapti will not be helpful in knowing the nature of inferential cognition, and therefore it is a matter of careful attention on the part of Nyaya thinkers to define Vyapti relation. As we know, the term Vyapti is known as Vyapya Vyapaka relation in the Nyaya tradition. It is known as Avinabhava in the Buddhist tradition, and it is known as Anyatha Nupapattatva in the Jaina tradition. All these three traditions try to explain the relation between Hetu and Sadhya in their own ways. In this session, we studied how older Nyaya thinkers tried to explain and define the nature of Vyapti. For more details, it is suggested to refer to the write-up that is available on this topic, and also referring to the original sources which are mentioned at the end of the write-up. Thank you.